Yep.
David, Anthony has just been in and said it doesn't matter what the results would be, he'd always want to play the best teams he could play, because by the time you get to the start of the season, you know where you are. Mm-hmm. Is that what you kind of take from?
Yeah, I don't know if we were one of the best teams he'll play, that's for sure, not at the moment. I hope that we'll be able to say that maybe as we go along. But look, by the end of last season we were one of the best teams because of our form. But we're in, we've played today without 3 centre halves, and that made it really difficult for us. We were nearly struggling to field a team in some ways today. But no excuse, 5 players playing out of position really today. And I thought the first half they'd done a great job really in containing, and we had some opportunities ourselves. But it was always going to be difficult with the lack of numbers and what we had when it got to the second half.
I mean, with 3 weeks away now, what's your view? I've seen some, I don't know whether they were tongue in cheek, but I've seen some kind of quotes attributed to you about how many players you need before the window closes. Is that realistic, that we were talking about 8 or 9?
Well, look, we've signed 3, so if you take that off, that we're still in the need of maybe 5 or 6 players possibly. That's what we have to try and do. We've got it's one of these times where I've never had it. By the way, in the past I probably have had to sign a lot of players, but never had to do so many in one window like we're doing. We're sort of picking up a little bit of where at the end now where there was a lot of people coming out of contract and a lot of loan players we had in because of the financial situation, so we're having to sort of find a way now. Look, we're trying really, really hard behind the scenes to get things done, and as you can see we're going to need it because but ultimately today we've got no centre halves in the team to play differently, so we're really struggling, and even Big Jake has played most of the time for me as a right back, so we've been really struggling today.
Can you say anything about Asnu, or is that something that you
no, I mean we have made an offer, whether it's accepted and whether it's all done. But he's a young player. He's a young left back, so it's someone who we see having good future and potential.
David, a lot of the players that he seems to be being linked with are in that younger age bracket at the moment, which may just be that we're not as across your targets as we'd like to be. But is that the way that you see the club wanting to go in terms of that age profile?
No, not really. No, we've actually, if I'm being honest, we've tried to actually target more senior players if we can. Players maybe over the age of 25 with Premier League experience, etc. would be one of the things, but it's not taking us away from the fact that we want to try and buy some young players as well. But I think you've got as many as us to probably do. I'm hoping by the time we get to the end of the transfer window we might have had a balance of sort of youth and experience in.
Just wondering what you made of the pitch today.
Let's be fair, it's not the Premier League. It's American grass, which you come here and you used to, you need the ball was slow. But hey, by the way, they played some big games recently here and in other pitches, and it's looked good. But the turf is different from the turf which most clubs would have back in the Premier League.
Any positives?
Any positives? Look, I thought we'd done quite well in the first half. I actually thought Tierno Barry came on and actually done quite well when he came on as well. I have to say, I thought he held the ball up quite well. He ran. He had a couple of moments. So if there was anything, it was probably getting him 15-20 minutes, and let's hope he can build on that. But we're, as I said before, you can see that we're in need of more. But we're missing our senior. We're missing Tarky and Jared Brathwaite because of his levels, and also even Michael Keane and Seamus Coleman. The boys would have helped us a little bit today.
Sally Mundell at the back.
How nice was it to see so many Premier League fans here today?
Well, it's a competition. The Premier League is so well watched all over the world. I wouldn't be surprised to see supporters because they get a chance to get up close a little bit with the players. And look, I think their football's growing greatly. they've got a big understanding of the Premier League. I think most people in any country in the world recognises the Premier League. So it was good to see lots of supporters here today.
Baz?
Coach, I don't want to single them out, but Iliman India, given his role in the squad, are you know, the AFCON is going to come in December. Are you taking that into consideration when the players that you know?
Well, it's another good point, because we've also got Idrissa Gana Gueye, so we've got that which we know. So it is, and it's actually it's something which is another question. Will clubs not sign African players because of the AFCON? Now I always want my players to be selected for their country. I want them to represent their countries, because I think that's the right thing to do. But when they get taken away in the mid-season, it becomes a problem. So we will miss them, and it is something which I know that not just us, but I know a lot of clubs are considering. If you're going to buy an African player who's in the AFCON, what's going to happen?
Let's take one from Baz.
David, you just mentioned James Tarkowski there. He was obviously key last season. Is there any chance we're going to see any minutes from him?
With a bit of luck, you have to remember he's had a serious operation. I think he's been out for about 12 weeks now, and we think there's about a 14-week. He's way ahead of his schedule, to be fair. I'm hoping that I might get Tarky maybe around the next 2 games, but I think if I was going to get him, I think it's more likely to be the last game rather than these ones. So we don't have Jared here either, so we've got a real problem in that area at the moment.
Okay, folks.
Cheers, thank you. Thank you. Ta.